I was looking at this new studio, this
beautiful
palace that we're sitting in. Delightful. Kayleigh, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Love
welcome
the
to the studio.
Yes.
Have you noticed a real negative shift in the nation's mood?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Anyone you talk to, Biden voter or not, you see it. One poll that I saw that came out said 83% of voters say the economy is very important to their vote or the most important issue, whereas it was just 4% who said not an issue. That's basically the president's chief of staff, his wife, and a few other extreme partisans out there. You can sense the mood shifting, and the question is, what's Biden doing to change the mood? And really, the answer is nothing.
I don't think he can do it. Well, he could do stuff, but the left won't let him. I mean, he could stand up there and say, come on, let's drill. Let's go get the oil that's ours. Let's go get the nat gas. Let's frack like crazy. But he cannot say that.
You're right.
The left won't let him.
You're right. There is an immediate solution. You just named it. He's beholden to the left. So instead of focusing on the policy fixes, there was an interesting quote way at the bottom of one of these expose pieces last week that an inside advisor said, I'm frustrated because they're focusing on the messaging and not the policy. That is the case. In a CNN piece, there was an advisor who said at the top, hey, what can Biden do to change getting covered? Because they're very frustrated no one's covering the president. I have an answer. The reason President Trump was covered so much, in addition to being very interesting, was he was always doing press conferences. He was always taking questions. He was always doing interviews. When you do these scripted appearances around the country, visit a factory, people don't cover that. They will cover the Kimmel interview on Wednesday night, which I think was a bad choice.
I mean, the man's a comedian.
Yes.
I mean, he's an activist, a left-wing activist is this guy. And
that's right.
That's the only interview that this president's going to do in the last 100 days?
It's perhaps apropos, because if you remember at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, President Biden was sitting there laughing when jokes were made about inflation. Granholm, his Secretary of Energy, laughed when asked about how she would reduce gas prices. His press secretary laughed when asked an inflation question, so perhaps they feel Kimmel's a fitting place for them. The American public, they're not laughing. Look at every single poll. I can't find one where no one is taking the economy seriously.
Surely you would like to be President Biden's press secretary to straighten things out. You'd love that, wouldn't you?
I keep putting in my application, but they chose Jen, and then they chose Karine, and I'm just somewhere near the bottom of the pile.
And you're with us in this lovely studio today.
I love it.
Kayleigh, you're all right. Thanks very much indeed. Oh,